Hi, Mark here, Monday, October the 13th, just after 8 a.m. Eastern. That's just after noon GMT. US session now underway. And let's have a look how the US dollar is performing to start the new week. We had a strong US dollar last week. Friday, a big turnaround, big sell-off on Friday, but US dollar fighting its way back so far today. I've got support at 98.59. I've got resistance at 98.98, and US dollar on the front foot to start the new week, looking to recoup Friday's losses, and we'll see how that plays out now that the US session is underway. And let's have a look at the majors. And as the US dollar was sold off on the index on Friday, all the majors strengthened against a weak US dollar on Friday. You can see on the euro, let me get my support level in here. There's the green candlestick from Friday that's buying euro, selling US dollar. US dollar is fighting back today. I've got resistance at 116.29. I've got support at 115.66. Red candlestick, strong US dollar to start. Let's zoom in on the hourly. And there you can see selling euro, buying US dollar going into the US session. Bit of a bounce for now, but we'll this level at the 115.69, tough level to break through. Buyers of US dollar, selling euro, buying US dollar will look to test and break below this support level. Buyers of euro and sellers of US will be looking up at the 116.29 resistance level. Let's have a look at the pound against the US. Somewhat different picture here. US hasn't been as strong against the pound, and the daily candlestick is a doji candlestick that's no body, open and close the same price, has tried higher and established resistance at 133.66 and tried lower. I've got support at 133.11, and for now sitting right in the middle of that zone. If I zoom in on the hourly, there you can see tried higher, tried lower, and sitting now at this 133.37. Buyers will be looking up at the 133.66 resistance. Sellers will be looking at the 133.11 support. But for now, sitting right where it started. You can see there was a gap lower to start, but unable to maintain dollar strength, and sitting right now at this 133.37 level as the US session gets underway. Let's have a look at the US dollar against the yen. There you see the strong sell-off on Friday, along with weak US dollar sold across the board. Resistance on Friday, 153.21, and came all the way down to just above the 151 level. To start the new week, US dollar gapped higher to start. Here you can see the open at 152 yen, has tried higher. So we've got resistance at 152.47. I've got support at 151.70, but sitting back where it started for now. Buyers will be looking up at this intraday resistance level. Sellers will be looking at the support at the 151.71 level. US dollar against the Canadian. Here we can see US dollar has started off strong, sold off on Friday, but US dollar still strong against the Canadian, and the Canadian wasn't really able to maintain on Friday either. US dollar buyers did step in late, pretty close to the close from the day before, and we now have support sitting at 139.83, just below that $1.40 level, and buyers now trying to test break above the intraday resistance, which is sitting at 140.09. Buyers will be looking up at this 140.33, formed a double top on Friday with strong reversal sign, but has been no follow through, and US dollar buyers on the front foot against the Canadian as the US session gets underway. So US dollar definitely fighting back from what we saw from the sell-off on Friday. We're seeing it on the index, we're seeing it on the euro, not fighting back as strong against the pound, but certainly against the yen, also against the Canadian. We'll see if that can be maintained through the US session. We've got resistance and support levels, intraday resistance and support levels to work with. Good trading, keep that discipline, and I will see you at the end of today's session.